Hello, dear friends. My name is Ben Weinstein. I'm a teacher of mindful self-compassion, and on behalf of the Center for Mindful Self-Compassion, I'd like to welcome all of you. I'd like to welcome each of us to this mini silent retreat, opening 2022 with compassion. It's such a treat and a pleasure to be here together with you. I'm speaking to you from Bangkok, Thailand. And of course, we see people saying hello from all over the world. So let's just begin by taking a moment to arrive, to do a little bit of a soft landing into the here and now. Let me invite you to find any position in which you feel comfortable. And then with your eyes open or with your eyes closed, just taking a few breaths, a few full breaths, and feeling your body breathe right here and right now. If this is the end of your day cycle, if you're sitting on our wonderful spinning planet where the sun is setting, perhaps taking a moment to exhale any tensions of the day. If you're seated somewhere on our spinning planet where it's the beginning or the middle of your day, perhaps imagining you're breathing in some Friday energy. Friday, December the 31st. And then just taking a moment to greet yourself, perhaps by visualizing yourself sitting here in your mind's eye and offering yourself a kind smile of greeting. Perhaps by taking a moment to offer yourself some gentle touch in whatever form that touch connects for you. Even if it's just clasping your hands together in your lap, as if saying to this human body, hello, my dear old friend. How are you doing? Just noticing whatever's present for you right now. And seeing if perhaps it's possible to make a little bit of space and just let it be like this. And then as you feel ready, taking a few more delicious breaths. And allowing your eyes to open. And if you like, taking some moments to enjoy the beautiful garden of faces and pictures. During this silent mini retreat, we're going to receive offerings from 3 wonderful teachers who I'll introduce in a moment. And unlike our usual daily public offerings, we're going to ask you to consider resting in silence throughout the period of practice here. Silence is a wonderful opportunity to draw our attention inwards and to be with ourselves without feeling any need to be outwardly directed. If that feels right for you, if that feels nourishing, please consider taking that invitation. However, if you feel inspired and you would like to share your inspiration, your passion, your gratitude, your joy in the chat, you're also welcome to do that. Each of our teachers will share for a bit, and then we'll have a period of silent sitting. And the opportunity is just to absorb, to let whatever it is you're getting sink into every cell of your body in that period between our teachers. During the period of silence, I'm also going to post a link in the chat if you feel inspired to make a donation to CMSC, which is a nonprofit organization and relies on donations in order to sustain these offerings. If you feel inspired to make a donation of any size, that possibility will also be available. And now I'd like to introduce our teachers, and it's such an honor to introduce these three people. I'm going to introduce all three teachers now, and I won't speak again until the ending of the retreat, when we'll do a brief closing exercise, a brief closing practice. Our first teacher is Steve Hickman. Steve is the executive director of CMSC, a clinical psychologist. He's the author of Self-Compassion for Dummies. And even though he didn't ask me to say this, Steve is an inspiration to mindful self-compassion teachers and therapists around the world. And it's an honor to have him here to lead us in what I think will be an amazing practice. After a brief break, Steve will be followed by Cassondra Graff. And I am so happy to introduce you to my friend and colleague, Cassondra. She is a certified teacher of mindful self-compassion, a mentor and a consultant for CMSC. And she's here today to engage with you as a compassionate community. Cassondra hopes that this engagement here will build on the efforts to move compassion into our world, because our world, Cassondra believes, deeply needs more compassion and self-compassion. And then, after Cassandra's offering and a brief break, we'll hear from Siri Chandler. Siri is a certified teacher of MSc, a citizen of the United States and Thailand, who lives in Pranbury, Thailand. Siri is looking forward to offering a practice that includes exploring questions of heart and mind, so as to motivate ourselves into 2022 with self-compassion, courage, and creativity. Extending this out from our hearts and minds into our lives. Siri's practice will be a spacious practice that allows time to breathe and tune into the experience and intentions more deeply. Some of our teachers may use bells during the practice tonight as a signal that the practice is ending. So we just want to let you know about that ahead of time. So now I'm going to offer the floor, the screen, to Steve Hickman.
Thank you, Ben, for the kind introduction and for this offering that you and Layla have put together. It's a pleasure to be with everyone here today. It's good to see some familiar faces and some new faces. And to just be with all of you. I have a bit of an agenda. You don't have to have any agenda at all except to be here, and you've already accomplished that. So congratulations, let go of needing to do anything else. And what I wanted to practice with you around is how we close the door on an old year and open another door to a new year. That's where we are right now, in that corridor between those two, about to close a door and open another one. And I guess I was inspired to think about this just as these things happened. It seemed random, but maybe not. I came upon a video of a talk show where a comedian was kind of doing a riff on the year, the previous year, and basically was going on and on about how horrendously awful the year was. And it sort of, there was this big buildup as if like, just talk about this lofty year that we just had, and then basically said it was crap in various ways. And it was all very funny. I think it was from like 2014 or something like that. And I thought to myself, man, you ain't seen nothing yet, on the one hand. And then I thought about how, with a little bit of distance, how a year can seem different, and how we may want to sort of slam that door closed, or forget this year, or write it off, or somehow eliminate it from our memories. But it's not really fair to the year, because there may have been some difficult things, and then there were some wonderful things, joys and sorrows and everything in between. And what have we lost when we simply write off a year, label it? And that, my mind goes interesting places. But as a teacher of mindful self-compassion, and many of you have taken the course or taken mindfulness courses, teachers have a way of inquiring into your experience of a meditation or an exercise, where we typically want to know what happened, what were the twists and turns, what unfolded for you, what did you discover, what did you struggle with. We don't typically take it at face value when you say, oh, that was a good meditation, or I love that meditation, or it was a terrible meditation, or I hated that meditation. We want to know not why or anything else, but how did it go? What actually unfolded? Because there's gold to be discovered in the details, in the moments, in the experiences. And we don't quite know what they mean at the time. And many of you are probably familiar with a Zen story about the farmer who works his little farm as hard as he can to provide for his family. And he has a horse that he uses to plow the fields. And one day the horse runs off, and the villagers all come to him and they say, oh my gosh, this is such bad luck. We're so sorry for you. And he said, well, bad luck, good luck, who knows? And they looked at him like, is this guy crazy or what? And then a few days later, he looks up and a whole herd of horses, along with his original horse, come running back in. And everyone is like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Such good luck that now you have all of these horses to work your farm. And he says, well, bad luck, good luck, who knows? And then a little longer goes by, his son goes out to help him in the fields to train these horses. And in an accident of some sort, his son falls and breaks his leg. And the villagers are back to provide further commentary and to tell him, oh, what bad luck that your son broke his leg. And he said the same thing, good luck, bad luck, who knows? And then when the army came looking for people to serve in the war that was going on and saw his son with a broken leg, they passed him by, left him there. And then it was good luck, same story. The story goes on, but you get the picture. So maybe there is something about 2021 that you could think of as good luck or bad luck, but maybe we don't know. And maybe some things unfolded for you in this past year that seemed to have one of those labels, but we're going to take a little time to look a little bit closer to see what maybe deeper lesson was learned, or feeling was tapped into, or what other possibilities were unlocked by having been through an experience that maybe at the time you thought was good luck, maybe was bad luck. What if we let go of the luck thing altogether and just came to terms with our experience as it was, and see what richness can arise. So we'll take a little time to sort of settle in to ourselves, to our own selves, and then we'll walk through the 2021. Each of you will be invited to meander through your experience of the year and the various events and moments that maybe stand out, and the invitation is to encounter them with fresh eyes from a little bit of a distance, and to see what actually was there, putting aside good luck or bad luck, because who knows? So if you'd like to just take a moment maybe to kind of bring your attention inward off of the screen for a bit, and to find a place for your body that is supportive, settled, to whatever degree still and comfortable, whatever is available to you, really checking in with yourself around that fundamental question of self-compassion as to what do I need? What does this body need just now? Maybe shifting the posture, maybe even having to move out of the range of your particular camera if it's on. Totally fine. Finding some degree of comfort and ease for this body. Finding your way to the breath, your breath, this very breath that you are breathing. Maybe tuning into it. It has continued to breathe itself since the last time you noticed. Letting yourself ride on the flow of breathing without having to breathe in any particular way. Just allowing this body to breathe. And if you'd like, maybe giving yourself a gentle reminder of in some form of the way in which you intend to practice today and every day with warmth and kindness. And that might include a hand on the heart or some other place on the body that is supportive or soothing to you. Feeling the warmth and the gentle pressure. Or maybe it's a kind and gentle inner smile of welcome to your own self. Welcoming yourself into this moment, at this place, at this time. Ah, here you are. So good to see you. Maybe letting that smile gently turn up the corners of the lips, the eyes to soften, the brow to unfurrow. To feel the gentle movement of the in-breath and the out-breath. Letting yourself be nourished by the in-breath and relaxed or cleansed on the out-breath, letting the breath do what it does. Each breath. No place else to go, nothing else to do, but to be here in our own presence. Allowing this one moment to be enough. perhaps allowing each breath to be enough. And maybe, just maybe, allowing this one here, the one who is breathing, to be enough. Right now, it's like this. Right now, I am like this. And it's enough. Perhaps appreciating, to whatever extent possible, the reality of your presence in this moment. That you are the one who has wandered, trudged, and dashed and traveled through this life all these many years, all these many days and hours and minutes. And here you are, here we are, each of us having traveled our own journey. And come upon this crossroads in this moment together. Each of us fully and completely ourselves. Having been shaped, molded, tested by our own lives into this being who is sitting here with a hand on the body, simply breathing. All our trials and tribulations, our challenges, our successes and failures, our highest highs and our lowest lows. Here we are today, just as we are. Fundamentally whole, complete, imperfect works in progress. As you're ready, giving your mind permission to wander through the landscape of 2021, your 2021. as you would through a garden, a field, a forest. And pausing now and then to take note of whatever arises in your awareness of this year, of this time in your life. Events, people, places, ideas, accomplishments, challenges, losses, gains, surprises, gifts received or gifts given, births, deaths, marriages, divorces, milestones passed or not achieved yet, breakthroughs and stuck points, wins and losses, high points and low points, and all the varied terrain in between. Holding it tenderly, gently, without agenda, except to be perhaps a little curious. Allowing yourself to linger with any particular point of interest without judgment and with as much patience as you're able to muster, to simply consider it, to re-encounter a particular memory or event, to perhaps open your heart to being present with it in whatever way is right for you. Notice what comes up for you as you recall this particular event or moment. And most importantly, give yourself whatever you need in each moment as you do so. Maybe a breath, a pause, some savoring, some resistance, whatever is called for, some soothing or comforting as you encounter the moments, the steps on the path of 2021. Maybe a little reflection, maybe a little mental distance, whatever is called for. Please know that if any particular event or memory is a bit challenging or painful for you just now, a little too raw or fresh, just give yourself permission to acknowledge. Acknowledge it as something that you've experienced, maybe even imagining yourself bowing to it politely, acknowledging its presence and gently moving on to something else. No need to force yourself into any encounter. Maybe notice your tendency to apply a label of good or bad, good luck or bad luck. See if you can watch that tendency and take the stance of the farmer. Who knows? Can you reconnect with the feelings that came with that event? Can you see any deeper meaning or lessons or opportunities that this experience brought you, even if you weren't aware of it at the time? And this isn't necessarily about finding a silver lining or a bright side, but just to be willing to consider the whole experience in its entirety, in context and in retrospect. To observe how it unfolded and perhaps how it changed you in some way. Maybe it didn't change you at all. That's okay too. Not every experience has a deeper lesson or message, but many do when viewed from a little distance with some kindness and patience and self-compassion. Taking your time, being curious and patient, and kind with yourself, including yourself as you were at the time. Because today you are a little bit different than you were then, as we all are. Constantly growing, works in progress. Whenever you feel ready, letting go of that particular event, and meandering on to the next one, whatever arises. No need to rush. There is no destination. I'll let you move at your own pace with less guidance and more space to explore the landmarks on your journey of 2021 with this kind and gentle approach, opening your heart to the moments. Checking in from time to time in case the mind has wandered or drifted, inviting attention back to the pathway through your 2021, maybe finding another item, event, experience. Maybe taking note of the tendency that we have to look for problem areas, to look for the quote bad luck items, and making sure you make some room for some more uplifting experiences of 2021, some breakthroughs, some successes, some gifts, some joys. Holding them with equal kindness as any other. Always the opportunity to return to this moment, this breath, this body, to reconnect to the warmth and kindness of self-compassion. Remembering that we can be patient, that we can move slowly with warmth and curiosity and self-care. Allowing yourself to feel the impact on you of these various events, both at the time, but more importantly now, as you sit here, looking back, the wisdom of hindsight, of perspective, not needing to change the experience, simply to appreciate it in a new way, each one with a little bit of distance, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of healing or learning or growing or shifting. Letting go of any questions or need to understand, if you can, just learning to love the questions themselves, as Rilke says. Continuing to move to the landscape, the garden, the forest, with curiosity, with patience, with equanimity, perhaps. Whatever is available to you in this moment. Encountering these memories, these experiences with a perhaps calmer nervous system, less of a narrow focus, more of a sense of groundedness and presence and warmth. Perhaps as you're ready, turning attention to you, this one here, as you are today, in this moment, a product of all of the experiences that you have had from the beginning. Meeting yourself here, having had this year in whatever form it took. See yourself in this moment of time, still fully human, still imperfect and a work in progress, still with a kind and good intentioned heart. A simple wish to be happy and free from suffering, just like everybody else gathered here and everybody else on the planet. For all the experiences that have unfolded and arisen in all the days and moments of this life, here we are. Perfectly imperfect. And from this place, turning to what lies ahead through the doorway of 2022. Might there be some way that would serve each of us if we could carry forth this open-hearted stance into the new year, into whatever unfolds tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month, with some degree of this equanimity, this warmth and kindness, this willingness to see all sides that we can see. To say, good luck, bad luck, who knows? Seeing if there might be some way that we can cultivate a kind and curious exploration of each new moment, perhaps through the practice of self-compassion. Setting aside judgment and labels and whenever possible, and instead exploring each experience just as it is, just like this. A loving heart and whatever degree of receptivity you may be able to bring to a moment. You need to bring this open heart to the moments yet to come. And what might be gained? What might be lost? What might be learned? Loving, open heart. Yours. This one. Perhaps you have discovered something that you hadn't found before. Our tendency is not to look further at things that were challenging, to appreciate what other lessons might have been learned or opportunities might have arisen. But sometimes we can be surprised. I think this is particularly well reflected in a poem by David White, the title of which is The Well of Grief. But it isn't just about grief. Those who will not slip beneath the still surface on the well of grief, turning down through its black water to the place we cannot breathe, will never know the source from which we drink, the secret water cold and clear, nor find in the darkness glimmering the small round coins thrown by those who wished for something else. Finding in the darkness glimmering the small round coins thrown by those who wished for something else. Allowing yourself to let go of this practice entirely, to maybe take some moments to just rest in your own experience, to be exactly as you are. To settle, to ground yourself, to bring yourself kindly into this gathering again. To allow the experience to be just as it was. Nothing needs to be done with it. Of course, you are invited to reflect in this way, of course, on any experience, but letting go of agendas, just letting it be what it was and what it is, and to be kind and gentle with yourself as you gently draw one door closed and open the other. May you have a happy and fruitful new year, and thank you for your kind attention and for your practice in particular. It's my pleasure to be here with you. Thanks.
Cassandra, could you unmute yourself, please? I'm sorry.
I am so sorry, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Hi, I'm Cassandra. A warm welcome to you, whoever you are, from wherever you are. This is a great global gathering. It's good to be here with you. 2021 has been a challenging year for all of us, but we can take heart in the strength of this compassionate community. We can gather together in the midst of difficulty. And as we gather, we can encounter each other and share this precious moment. As Paulo Coelho, the Brazilian activist and author, said, this is like a little parenthesis in eternity. We can enjoy it together. As we come to the close of 2021 and transition into 2022, let this be a celebration of kindness and compassion. This can be a celebration of goodwill. Dare we? Dare we say we need it? We long for it? I need it. I long for it. As with life, compassion can be hard, tough, painful, messy. But so what? It's real. It connects us with the truth. Can we embrace the full catastrophe of life, of humanity? And as we close this year, can we reflect on how are we treating ourselves? And how are we treating each other? Socrates said, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. And I would add, that includes you. Are we willing to really listen to ourselves and each other? Who knows? We may discover a tremendous beauty in each other. That can be contagious, but oh, what a contagion. Shall we create a kind, compassionate, judgment-free zone right here, right now, and take this into the new year? We don't need to do it perfectly, maybe just in small, messy ways. As Maya Angelou, the late poet, said, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. This may be a more sustainable way to live. I know it keeps me going. Kindness and compassion are the engine, the elixir for my struggles, for when my heart is hurting. And there's a secret ingredient in there, love. Or as we say in Greek, agape. It's the secret ingredient. And it's the only force that can alter the course of other more destructive forces. And we can tap into it if we can just remember to. It's there for us. We just need to remember it. What would it be like to intentionally bring these qualities, I would even say powers, forward on purpose? To find ways to see the longing for love and kindness in the eyes of everyone you encounter, including ourselves. Like right now. Can you see it in me? Can you see it in my eyes? What if we remembered this every day? How might this change how we treat each other? How might this change our world? You can get playful with this. You could be a rebel and say no to harm, no to unkindness. And you can do this with the renewable energy resources of love, kindness, and connection. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to not do this. Life's too short, too precious. I don't want to miss it. And it can be a heck of a better ride this way. And it's contagious. My kind of contagion. So how do we do this? Well, thankfully, we can call on self-compassion for support. Self-compassion is a platform for self-kindness. We could park on that platform every day and ask ourselves, what do I need? What do I truly need right now? To bury my face in my dog's fur? To have a good laugh? To practice self-compassion on the spot? To receive a warm hug from myself? Hokey as that may sound, you are at your own disposal. What you need may only be a choice away. And we know that the kinder and more compassionate we are with ourselves, the more this grows toward others. We actually become more compassionate to others, and I would say more sustainably compassionate, because we're continuously resourcing ourselves so that we don't become depleted, so that we don't lose ourselves. It's good all around. Everyone benefits. In the words of Albert Einstein, our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Let's practice together. So, taking a moment now to get as comfortable as you possibly can. Asking yourself the core mindful self-compassion question, and that is, what do I need right now? Even physically. Adjusting in any way you need. Adjusting in your body, maybe sitting, perhaps lying down. Bringing in an extra blanket or pillow. And then as you are ready, closing your eyes, either partially or fully, or leaving them open if you're more comfortable. And taking a few deep breaths. And then just letting your breath be natural. And bringing attention all the way down your body and into the soles of your feet. And feeling your way into your feet. And just noticing where they may touch a surface, like the shoe or the floor. Feeling your connection to the ground. and by proximity, the earth, which is, after all, where we come from. Taking a moment to feel your connection with the earth. Aware of your body making contact with the chair or the couch or the floor, whatever it is that's holding you. Allowing yourself to be held, supported. Knowing the earth is always supporting you. And there's nothing else you need to do right now. Bringing your attention inside your body now, noticing what's there. Any lingering stress? And now you may want to check in with how you're doing. So bringing attention to your heart beating in your chest. This heart, so much more than a miraculous pump. A part of us that houses our emotions. I'm taking a few breaths now in and out of your heart region. Noticing what emotions may be here for you right now. A sense of contentment, uneasiness, excitement, sadness, joy. Or nothing at all. Whatever may be here for you right now, can you make some room for it, if only for this moment? And for whatever might be here for you right now, can you bring some kindness to it, to yourself? Just because. Just because. And now, beginning to feel your breath moving in and out of your body. Feeling your breath moving in. Feeling your breath moving out. Allowing your breath to nourish, even energize you with every in-breath. And relax and release your body with every out-breath. If your mind wanders, simply bringing it back to the breath. If you are uncomfortable with the breath, feel free to give yourself something else, like a form of touch, some kind words, opening your eyes, looking at something outside of yourself. Giving yourself what you need in any given moment. And if you are feeling the breath, feeling the rhythm of your breathing, and if you like, allowing the breath to rock you, gently rock you. Feeling your body subtly swaying with your breathing. And now, beginning to feel just the in-breath. Letting every in-breath be for you. breathing in for yourself, and then just releasing the out breath. You may want to breathe in something good, something you may need or want right now, like some kindness, care, love. What feels right for you right now? Maybe you need a little tender compassion, some soothing, validating, encouraging. Or maybe you need a little fierce, perhaps breathing in some strength. Clarity. Courage. Or maybe you need a little bit of both, some tender and fierce. Perhaps experimenting, seeing what you need. And now, focusing on your out breath, just releasing in your body with every out breath. Feeling the ease of exhalation. bringing to mind someone you love or someone who may be struggling in some way. Taking a moment to bring someone to mind. And now really seeing them in your mind's eye. Seeing their face, their expression. Noticing how they may be sitting, standing, or laying down. And taking a moment to feel in your body what it feels like to be in their presence. And breathing out for this person or being. Sending out something good for this one. And now breathing both for yourself and for another. And letting your attention linger mainly on yourself over and over. And when it feels right, only when it feels right, breathing out for another. If you would like, bringing some supportive or soothing touch to yourself. And savoring the sensation of breathing in and out. Finding just the right balance. Bringing in tenderness or fierceness for you and out for the other. In for me, out for you. In for me and out for you. Allowing your breath to move in and out just like the ocean, moving in, moving out. Moving in, moving out. Letting yourself be part of this limitless ocean of compassion. And if at any time you need more for yourself, don't be shy. Maybe you need a little more support, care. Go ahead and give it to yourself and stay there as long as you like. Or if you would like, breathing goodwill in for yourself and out for others. Letting goodwill ride in with every in and out breath. Breathing goodwill in for yourself and out for those of us who are gathered here with you. With you in this community of compassion. Expanding this to where you live, your community, your country, our world. The earth and beyond. And now releasing the practice and resting in your experience, however it is. And while your eyes are still closed or resting open with a soft gaze, taking in the words of this poem, If It Is Not Too Dark, by Hafiz. Go for a walk if it's not too dark. Get some fresh air. Try to smile. Say something kind to a safe-looking stranger if one happens by. Always exercise your heart's knowing. You might as well attempt something real along this path. Take your spouse or your lover in your arms the way you did when you first met. Let tenderness pour from your eyes the way the sun gazes warmly on the earth. Play a game with some children. Extend yourself to a friend. Sing a few ribble songs with your pets and plants. Why not let them get drunk and wild? Let's toast every rung we've climbed on evolution's ladder. Whisper, I love you. I love you to the whole mad world. Jump to your feet, wave your fists, threaten and warn the whole universe that your heart can no longer live without real love. That your heart can no longer live without real love. When you are ready, opening your eyes if they've been closed, and giving yourself what you need. Maybe this is a stretch, or maybe it's taking a look around the room or the environment that you're in right now, noticing familiar objects or furniture. And if you like, allowing yourself and allowing your eyes to rest on something that feels good, letting yourself enjoy it. And then when you are ready, bringing your eyes back here to us. Shall we renew in this? The Greeks dance when they're in joy, in celebration. They also dance when they're upset, mad, glad. The Greeks dance when they're brokenhearted and open-hearted. We dance in compassion, in the full catastrophe of life. So what do you say? Should we dance? Should we go into the new year shouting, Oppa! Oppa! Thank you for being here with me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And now we'll have a bit of a break. And please maintain the spirit of this community by breathing together in silence and just enjoying the energy that we've shared together. And in the true spirit of compassion, please give yourself whatever you need. And chat will remain open if you feel inspired to share with each other. Bye-bye.
So a warm hello from Thailand. Could you give me a thumbs up if you can hear my voice? Oh, good. So thank you. It's a real honor to be here and have this opportunity to shift into 2022 with you. So those of you in the Austral Asian countries, you know we're already into December 31st. And the festivities here have already begun. So I live near the sea. And my neighbor, there's a resort right next door, and they started partying at 6 a.m. this morning. And so they had all this loud music and a lot of bass, but they said they would stay quiet for 45 minutes. But I just wanted to warn you that we might have background noise, background music, I should say. So a new year, new beginnings, a really good time to pause and reflect on how things have been and how we might like to move forward into the future. So I understand that all of you have been in the flow of practice already with Steve and Cassondra. So I'll do my best to keep the intro as short as possible so that we can drop back into practice as soon as possible. So what I wanted to share with you is a practice that I come back to again and again and again, as it helps realign me with that which is most important. And this practice was originally inspired by one of my core meditation teachers, Alan Wallace. He's a contemplative philosopher, author, very interested in science and quantum physics. So he inspired this practice, but it's been adapted to be infused with the essence of MSC. So what we'll be doing, if you wish, is we'll be exploring questions of the heart and mind as a way to set our motivation for the new year. And we're not doing this to whip us into shape, but rather in the spirit of kindness and care for ourselves. So if you're like me at all, sometimes you might get stuck in these self-limiting beliefs. You might know that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or some people, they really hold on tight to this idea, this is just the way I am, these are my habits, and I'm always going to be like this. And when you look closely, these self-limiting beliefs, they really strangle our imagination. So what would it be like if we were aware of the limiting beliefs, if we were able to let go of them, or at least hold them more lightly, so that we can open to the vastness of possibilities that truly exist? So the truth is, we change, it's natural. Neuroplasticity is a fact. So we're always in a constant state of flux, changing throughout our lives. So we'll be exploring what it might be like to open to the vastness of possibilities that truly exist as we move into 2022. And I just want to note that to actualize our potential for greater well-being, it's helpful to first set our motivation in a direction that we find meaningful. So it's like we're creating a vision, an image for what our possibilities are. And to give you a very materialistic example, this room that I'm in right now, it's an Adobe mud meditation room. It didn't magically emerge out of thin air one day, but what happened was many, many years ago, my husband, he had this dream to build a house. And then he started drawing images of what he wanted the house to look like. And then he shared the images with, the architects, the engineers, and many years later, it came into being. So this room became a reality because of his vision. He planted the seed, yeah? So vision is key. It sets the stage for what is possible. So in this practice, it may help us find some of our deepest wishes, or actually, usually we're just remembering because we forget. And I want to note that these need to be realistic visions, aligned with reality. If I have a deep wish to be 20 years old again, not happening, it's not aligned with reality. So we're looking more at the deep, heartfelt wishes. They're kind of in line with the loving kindness phrases from MSC. May I live with more joy, playfulness, gratitude, compassion. So wise wishes that can be cultivated, tuning into the heart. There are 190 people in this Zoom room, so there will be 190 different meditations happening because we all have our own unique heart desires that are very personal. So for the practice, I'll start with settling the body and mind, coming back into more presence. And then we'll shift after about 10 minutes, we'll shift into a more creative aspect of the mind. I'll be asking questions, a series of 3 questions. And it's important to not try to intellectualize or conceptualize the answers, but rather let the questions arrive, drop into awareness, and see what bubbles up. So we're using the questions as a way to connect more deeply with our hearts. And keeping it simple and easeful. So this meditation, it does use visualizations, our imagination. And if that's difficult for you, then just be easy with yourself and see what comes up. So using your own style, being a little bit playful, if you wish, I encourage it. And if, as always, if any feeling of angst, dis-ease, overwhelm, if any of that comes up, or if you start getting lost in a story or a narrative, know that you are always, always in choice. So feel free at any time to shift your attention elsewhere, to sounds, to feeling into the body, grab a cup of tea or take a walk. So offering yourself compassion if needed. And also, if you don't connect with the words that I use, then customize, make them your own. So making this practice your own. Okay, so we're ready to shift in to the meditation. So finding a posture that's comfortable. And this can be done seated, standing, or lying down. You might make any adjustments that would help feel more easeful in the body. Allowing the eyes to close softly. You might like to have a soft gaze if that feels better. And bringing attention into the body, right down to where the body's connecting to whatever is supporting you. The floor, the chair, the bed. Letting the body weight sink more and more deeply into what you're resting on. Feeling into the downward movements, the downward energy of gravity holding you here. So feeling grounded, but also feeling the height of you. Up through the back, neck, head. Shoulders down, relaxed. Allowing the muscles in the face to be soft, especially around the eyes. The forehead spacious. And if you like, placing one or two hands over the heart center or another supportive place. And doing this as a reminder to not only bring awareness, but to bring a friendly, warm, kind awareness to yourself in this experience. So you can leave your hands here or let them rest at any time. And now like a fragrance filling a room, letting your awareness fill the body. Being aware of the whole range of sensations arising in the body. Firmness, fluidity. You might notice moisture in the mouth. Range of temperature from cold to hot. Vibrations, movements in the body. We're just simply observing with a kind, curious attention. And then if you like, start noticing the subtle movements associated with the breath. The very subtle expansion on the in-breath. And the softening down on the out-breath. Tuning into the rhythm of the breath. It's sometimes said that the best way to practice is to make it as enjoyable as possible. So when we take delight in the breath, it might be easier to pay attention to. So resting here, resting with this gentle rocking motion of the breath. And if and when the mind wanders off to sounds or other distractions, perhaps smiling inwardly, relaxing the body more deeply, and then bringing your attention right back to sensing the movements of the breath in the body as best you can. Noticing how the in-breath naturally nourishes the body, and on the out-breath, relaxing, releasing more deeply. And on the out-breath, you may like to ask, what do I not need to be holding on to right now? And now letting go of your attention to the breath. And we'll shift our attention to the more creative aspect of the mind. So using your imagination as best you can to bring about a unique vision, a wish towards happiness and well-being. So asking yourself, What do I wish for? What is my heart's desire? How do I envision my own inner fulfillment? So imagining, picturing what it would be like to see yourself being truly well and happy. And if visualizing is difficult for you, then perhaps bringing a sense of what this would feel like into your awareness. What would it feel like to be flourishing, truly well and happy? And keeping this as easeful as possible. If nothing arises in your awareness, no worries. You can come back to the recording of this practice at another time. Sometimes nothing does arise. So offering yourself compassion for that. What is my heart's desire? And if a vision does come to mind of your own happiness and well-being, having the heartfelt wish, may I realize this happiness and well-being. So now from moment to moment, each one of us is always changing. We're constantly in a state of flux. So given this fact, asking yourself, how would I love to transform? What qualities would I love to be free of? What qualities would I love to be free of? And also what qualities, attitudes, values would I love to strengthen and grow? Perhaps you'd like to strengthen and grow more kindness, joy, courage, compassion, gratitude. Envisioning the changes you would love to experience in your evolution as a human being. Imagining short-term as well as long-term shifts. And being curious about what arises. With a spirit of kindness, sending yourself enthusiasm, inner strength, sending yourself the gentle commitment, the commitment needed to actualize these inner values, these qualities. And picturing yourself realizing this type of transformation, this growth. Actualizing this genuine happiness, this compassion. We each exist in an ongoing relationship with the world around us. Whatever we think, say, or do has an impact on society and the environment. Whatever we think, say, or do has an impact on society and the environment. So acknowledging this reality of interconnectedness, asking the question, what would I love to offer to the world? What would I love to offer to the world? And these don't need to be huge, grand offerings, but perhaps more simple, small acts of offerings. What would I love to offer to the world? So how can I make my life meaningful so that when I look back upon my life at the very end, I can look back and have a sense of satisfaction that this was a life well spent. And gently releasing your imagination. Resting and simply being aware, aware of the body. Noticing the energy in the body. Noticing your posture. And feeling the weight of you grounded. And before we end, you might like to offer yourself another gesture of support, whether it's hand on heart or elsewhere. Offering yourself an inner smile again, appreciation and gratitude to yourself for being here. And then expanding your attention outwards, sensing into the room that you're in. The space around you. And when you're ready, opening your eyes if they were closed, if you wish. You might like to stretch. And I'll give you a little time to let that settle. If you like, you might like to journal. And if any meaningful, heartfelt wishes arose, you might like to write them down. Some people like to write them in the form of a loving kindness phrase or a vow, keeping it simple and easeful. And during the next few days before the second part of this celebration, you might like to come up with some creative ways to remember your intentions, your deep wishes. You know, some people like to write them on the bathroom mirror or draw a picture, create a screensaver. I like to have an interval timer go off with a little bing, a little bell sound throughout the day, and that just helps me to pause and remember to come back to that which is most meaningful. So we have a few minutes before Ben comes on again. So if you have any ideas, ways that you remember, it would be really nice to see these in the chat. How do you remember your heartfelt wishes, your intentions? So Post-it notes, yeah. Yellow stickies, writing it down so you can see it when you wake up. Thank you for the link, Year in Review booklet. Asking a friend to remind me. Yeah, practice, practice, practice. Yeah. Not only on the cushion, but in all those moments throughout the day when you're cooking, doing the garden. So thank you everyone for sticking around for 3 hours. I'm so grateful for my neighbors. That was really hard to start when this, the room is moving. It was difficult, but yeah, I'm more grounded now. So Happy New Year's, everyone. And I'll hand this back to Ben.
Thank you so much, Siri. And thank you. I just want to take a moment to thank all of our incredible teachers. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Cassondra. Maybe I should say Oppa Cassondra. Thank you, Siri. And of course, knowing that in thanking those three, we're thanking each of their teachers, the teachers who have transmitted the story of the Zen farmer, the teachers who've transmitted the attitudes and practices of Greek culture, the teachers that Siri mentioned, like B. Allen Wallace, all these wonderful teachers that are embodied in Steve and Cassondra and Siri, and in each one of us as well. I do the same thing. I write down, I have Post-its, I have endless scraps of paper and notes and little Post-its here on around my screen, because it's so useful to have reminders. And someone mentioned practice. I think practice is so important. I mean, I find reminders so important. I wear one on my wrist perpetually. And if writing does connect for you and you're writing right now, please do continue. But I also want to suggest something that's perhaps a little bit controversial, that we may sometimes rely a little bit too much on words, as opposed to trusting the deep energies of our own consciousness. Because these qualities of mindfulness and compassion, these qualities of being able to soothe ourselves when we hurt and also to act as who we know we can be, these qualities are residing in us as more than words themselves. The words are something that can help focus and help remind us and help clarify. So as we close up this session of receiving these incredible teachings, I'd like to invite us to just take a further few moments to let this wisdom soak in. Soak in as words and beyond words as well. Let me invite you, wherever you are, in any position that makes sense for you, to allow your eyes to close. Or if it feels right, to have your eyes open and to breathe a few times, noticing however the energy of your body is at this moment. Noticing however the energy of your mind is at this moment. And perhaps, if it feels right, noticing whatever has landed for you. Whatever has connected for you, without needing to review it, but just being aware of whatever has really resonated for you in these last few hours. And if it feels right, I'd like to invite you to place a hand over your heart. This might be an open, kind, soothing hand. This might also be a gentle fist with the palm, with the knuckles down against your chest. One is a symbol of soothing and tender care. The other is a symbol of strength and power, both of which are part of you. Letting yourself choose whatever feels right. Perhaps even embracing the fist with your other hand. And just taking a few moments to breathe and to let this soak in. just savoring whatever is present for you right now. Perhaps visualizing yourself as the earth, absorbing nourishing rain, just soaking it in and allowing it to nourish you in the deepest way. There's nothing you need to do. You are already enough. And if it feels right for you, curving up the corners of your mouth and softening your eyes into that inner smile. Letting the curve of the smile lift you and hold you. And then taking a few more breaths and opening your eyes. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Thank you for supporting the work of CMSC. And if this was useful for you, if this nourished you, please remember that we're going to have part 2 of this event with Chris Germer and 2 other amazing teachers on January the 2nd. There are still spaces available. And if you like, you can share that link with other people. Thank you so much for being part of our community here and now. May all of us be well in the coming year. Thank you.